It began in whispers, stone rising from the jungle, symmetries shaped not by chance, but by celestial rhythms. Deep in the heart of Mesoamerica, beneath the canopy of trees older than memory itself, stood pyramids so precise, so majestic, that time could only gaze upon them in quiet awe. The Maya did not simply build with stone. They carved meaning into the earth and traced stories into the stars. And as the centuries slipped silently by, the jungle reclaimed their cities, but not their secrets. Before we begin, let me know in the comments where you're listening from and what time it is. It's somewhat comforting to imagine all of us, scattered across the globe, quietly unwinding together. So, breathe deeply, settle in, and allow the mysteries of time and space to cradle your imagination. For in the quiet hours of the night, under the same stars watched by our ancestors, the secrets of long-lost civilizations await, patiently, quietly, like ancient stars still shining from light years away. Let's begin. The air is heavy and warm, laden with the fragrance of damp earth, wild orchids, and the ever-present scent of rain that seems to linger even when the skies have long since cleared. A gentle mist curls through the dense foliage, weaving around towering ceiba trees and ferns as delicate as lace. The rainforest is alive with whispers, not the whispers of voices, but of nature itself, the soft patter of water droplets falling from leaf to leaf, the distant call of a toucan echoing through the trees, and the low guttural calls of howler monkeys announcing their presence in the dawn. As you wander along a path barely discernible beneath a carpet of fallen leaves, the sense of being watched by unseen eyes is inescapable. The jungle feels ancient, timeless, a realm where nature holds dominion, and yet conceals the remnants of something equally eternal. And then, as the morning mist begins to lift, you see it, the unmistakable silhouette of stone rising from the earth, an immense pyramid standing firm against the slow but persistent embrace of the forest. Before you stands the city of Tikal, cradled deep within the Petén Basin of northern Guatemala. This was once one of the most powerful and influential cities of the ancient Maya world. Long before European explorers ever glimpsed the shores of the New World, Tikal thrived amidst the verdant wilderness, its stone temples piercing the sky, its plazas bustling with life, and its rulers commanding respect that stretched across the vast Maya lowlands. The pyramid directly before you is Temple 4, the tallest of Tikal's grand structures, and even now it commands awe. Rising over 70 meters into the air, its summit offers a view that stretches beyond imagination, a seemingly endless expanse of rainforest, punctuated here and there by the crowns of other ancient pyramids peeking shyly through the green canopy. Ascending its steep weathered steps, one feels transported not just upward, but backward in time, to an era when these summits were the domain of kings, priests, and astronomers. Tikal was not built haphazardly. Every pyramid, every palace, every courtyard was laid out with purpose, their alignments tied intimately to the cycles of the heavens. The Maya believed the cosmos was a living, breathing entity, and their architecture mirrored this sacred understanding. The positioning of temples aligned with solstices, equinoxes, and the intricate movements of Venus, a planet of great significance in Maya cosmology. Time itself was written in stone, and these monuments were not just places of worship, but also instruments of celestial observation. Imagine, if you will, standing on the summit of Temple 4 as dusk settles over the jungle. The horizon blushes with the colors of a fading sun, and the stars begin to shimmer into existence, one by one. Priests once gathered here, their eyes trained on the night sky, charting the dance of constellations, predicting eclipses, and interpreting the will of the gods written in the heavens. In this space, between earth and sky, The Maya sought to maintain balance between man and nature, the living and the divine. At the heart of Tikal, life flourished in vibrant complexity. Markets thrummed with activity, as traders from distant cities bartered goods such as obsidian, jade, cacao, and colorful textiles. The air would have been thick with the aromas of cooking maize, beans, and chilies, mingling with the smoke of incense burning in sacred rituals. Children played in the plazas, their laughter blending with the deeper cadences of ceremonial drums and conch-shell trumpets, whose haunting tones marked the rhythm of civic and spiritual life. Yet beneath the surface of prosperity, there pulsed a current of competition and conflict. Tikal was not alone in its grandeur. It had rivals, most notably Calakmul, a formidable city-state located deep within what is now southern Mexico. The two cities engaged in a long and intricate rivalry, documented in the stele, towering stone slabs inscribed with glyphs that still stand silent and worn by time. These records speak of alliances forged and broken, wars fought under the banners of mighty kings, and victories that echoed far beyond the dense jungles. Connecting the city's many sectors were the Sac Biob, or white roads, their surfaces crafted from crushed limestone that gleamed under the moonlight. These ancient highways cut through the dense vegetation, guiding pilgrims, warriors, and merchants from one monumental space to another. Walking along these pathways, one can almost hear the echo of footsteps, the murmur of conversations in a language now mostly silent, and the distant sound of rituals carried on the night air. But Tikal, like all great cities, eventually faced decline. By the late 9th century, its grandeur began to wane. Scholars have long debated the causes: prolonged droughts that parched the land, deforestation and soil exhaustion, political instability, and the fracturing of alliances. Perhaps it was not a single calamity, but a perfect storm of adversity that led to the city's fall. As the people departed and the rituals ceased, the jungle advanced once more, its green tendrils creeping over stone and story alike. Today, the ruins of Tikal exist in a delicate embrace with the rainforest that both shelters and obscures them. The city is a testament to human ingenuity, spiritual devotion, and the transitory nature of power. Visitors who stand amidst its ruins feel not just the weight of history, but the quiet persistence of time itself. Nature reclaims, but it also remembers. As twilight deepens and the forest grows darker, the pyramids of Tikal become silhouettes against the starlit sky. The nocturnal creatures awaken, their calls forming a complex symphony that speaks of life continuing in myriad forms. The air cools, the mist returns, and the ancient stones seem to breathe with the rhythm of the jungle. You remain for a moment longer, listening to the past in the present. The Great Pyramid stands before you, a silent guardian of 1,000 stories, a monument to both the greatness and fragility of civilization. Here, in the heart of the rainforest, history sleeps, but never truly dies. And as you turn to leave, the pathway before you glows faintly in the moonlight, inviting you to journey further into the mysteries of the Maya. The rainforest breathes with an ancient pulse, each rustle of leaves and distant cry of a bird, a gentle reminder that life here has always been layered and complex. As you walk a little further into the shadows of towering saber trees and strangler figs, you begin to sense not just the remnants of a city, but the spirit of a civilization. The Maya were not merely architects of stone, they were architects of time itself, weavers of worlds both seen and unseen. Emerging over 3 millennia ago, the Maya civilization rose in the region that today includes southeastern Mexico, all of Guatemala and Belize, and parts of Honduras and El Salvador. Their story spans centuries of growth, transformation, and ingenuity. By the time Tikal flourished, the Maya had already inherited a deep well of knowledge, passed down through countless generations, each adding their verse to the grand narrative of their people. Imagine waking in a Maya village at dawn. The air is cool, the ground still damp with the dew of the night. Smoke from cooking fires curls lazily into the sky as the community stirs to life. Children laugh and chatter, families prepare maize-based meals, and artisans ready their tools for the day's work. Surrounding this daily rhythm is a belief system where every element of the world is alive, infused with spirit and meaning. The Maya world was not divided neatly between the physical and spiritual. Instead, the two intertwined in a dance of perpetual connection. At the heart of Maya society stood their calendar systems, feats of mathematical precision and astronomical observation. To the Maya, time was not linear but cyclical, a continuous wheel turning through eras known as baktuns and cartoons, each with its unique characteristics and prophecies. Their famed long count calendar tracks an immense span of time, recording the birth of the world as they knew it, a date corresponding to 3114 BCE in the Gregorian calendar. Their understanding of the cosmos was breathtaking. They charted the movements of the sun, moon, and planets with remarkable accuracy, constructing observatories such as the one at Uxmal or the Caracol in Chichen Itza, where small windows align perfectly with celestial events. The planet Venus held special significance, symbolizing both war and renewal, its cycle carefully noted in codices and inscriptions. Every eclipse, every solstice, was an event of profound meaning, tied to rituals that maintain the balance between the human world and the divine. The Maya pantheon was vast and vivid. Gods governed every aspect of existence, from maize, the sacred sustenance of life, to rain, fertility, death, and the underworld known as Xibalba. These deities were not distant overseers, but ever-present forces. Rituals, offerings, and ceremonies ensured harmony between the people and their gods. Bloodletting ceremonies, where rulers and nobles would offer their own blood, were performed to nourish the gods and sustain the cosmic order. In this sacrificial act, they reaffirmed their role as intermediaries between the heavens and the earth. The rulers of Maya cities were not merely political leaders, but living embodiments of divine power. Kings and queens traced their lineages to mythical ancestors, often depicted in elaborate stelae and murals, performing sacred duties that reaffirmed their divine right to rule. These monarchs presided over cities that were both urban centers and cosmological maps, their layouts echoing the sacred order of the universe. Artistry flourished under Maya hands, seen in everything from intricately carved stelae to vividly painted ceramics and frescoes. These works were more than decorative. They were narratives, preserving histories, myths, and moments of grandeur. Glyphs, their written language, adorned monuments and codices, each symbol a key to understanding their sophisticated worldview. Though many of the original codices were tragically destroyed during the Spanish conquest, the surviving texts reveal a people deeply engaged with the mysteries of existence. Economically, the Maya were adept traders, linking their cities through vast networks that spanned mountains, rivers, and forests. Goods such as jade, obsidian, cacao beans, and colorful feathers moved across these networks, weaving together a tapestry of cultural and material exchange. Markets buzzed with activity, bringing together not just goods, but ideas, stories, and innovations. Yet, the Maya world was not without its shadows. Warfare was a persistent thread in their history, not for territorial expansion alone, but for prestige, captives, and ritual purposes. Victories in battle were celebrated with grand ceremonies, while captured nobles often met sacrificial ends that reaffirmed the victor's favor with the gods. Despite the cyclical nature of their view of time, the Maya civilization experienced waves of rise and fall. Great cities emerged, flourished, and were abandoned, often for reasons still debated by scholars. Environmental changes, resource pressures, social upheavals, and shifting alliances all played roles in these transformations. Yet, the Maya did not vanish. Their descendants live on today, preserving languages, traditions, and knowledge that form an unbroken link to their storied past. As you sit beside a moss-covered stone, the jungle hushed around you, it is humbling to consider the depth of Maya, understanding and resilience. The stones whisper of mathematicians, poets, astronomers, and kings who once walked here, eyes lifted both to the heavens and to the intricacies of the world around them. The rainforest stirs gently, as if exhaling a long-held breath, and the air carries with it the faint scent of copal incense and maize. Time here is layered, a palimpsest of human striving and cosmic wonder. The Maya were builders of time, their monuments and calendars not just marking the passage of days, but offering a way to understand the very fabric of existence. As night begins to settle once more, you stand, brushing the earth from your hands. Above, the sky darkens, stars beginning to emerge, the same constellations watched by Maya astronomers centuries ago. The path ahead beckons, deeper into the mysteries of their world. Let us walk further into that past and uncover how the Maya constructed their breathtaking pyramids. The morning light filters softly through the dense canopy of the rainforest, casting a golden hue over the ancient stones scattered along the forest floor. The air is cool and damp, filled with the aroma of moss and the distant sweetness of orchids. As you walk, your path winds upward, and soon the trees part to reveal another grand marvel, a Maya pyramid, its silhouette cutting cleanly into the sky. This is not merely a pile of stones, it is a work of sacred geometry, a monument built not just to endure, but to echo the cosmos itself. The pyramids of the Maya are not simply constructions of limestone and mortar. They are carefully designed reflections of cosmic order, each layer, stairway, and orientation meticulously planned. To understand these awe-inspiring structures, one must first appreciate the Maya's profound connection between architecture, spirituality, and astronomy. At first glance, a Maya pyramid might appear as a grand staircase to the heavens. Many are stepped, tiered with platforms that rise one upon another, leading to a temple or altar perched at the summit. Each step was symbolic, representing stages of ascent, not just physically, but spiritually. Climbing these pyramids was akin to moving closer to the divine, each level an echo of the sacred mountains of myth where gods were believed to reside. One of the most renowned examples of this sacred geometry is the Pyramid of Kukulkan, also known as El Castillo, at Chichen Itza. This iconic pyramid is a masterpiece of both architecture and astronomical alignment. With its 4 staircases, each containing 91 steps, and the final platform at the top, the total reaches 365, the number of days in the solar year. This was no accident, but a deliberate representation of time itself, carved into stone. Twice a year, during the equinoxes, a remarkable phenomenon occurs at El Castillo. As the sun sets, shadows cast by the pyramid's terraces create the illusion of a serpent undulating down the side of the staircase. This visual effect, combined with the serpent head sculptures at the pyramid's base, represents the descent of Kukulkan, the feathered serpent deity. It is a spectacle that illustrates the Maya's ability to blend myth, science, and artistry in ways that still captivate the modern imagination. Yet Chichen Itza is but one example among many. In the city of Copan, in present-day Honduras, the pyramids and temples are adorned with intricate carvings and stelae, each telling stories of rulers, gods, and celestial events. The hieroglyphic stairway of Copan, with its 63 steps inscribed with over 2,000 glyphs, is the longest known text in the Maya world. Ascending these steps was not just a physical act, but a journey through history and divine narrative. The pyramids also functioned as calendars and observatories. Their alignments often corresponded with the cardinal directions, solstices, equinoxes, and the cycles of Venus. At Uxmal, the Pyramid of the Magician is uniquely oval in shape, its construction steeped in legend and oriented to capture celestial phenomena. Such alignments ensured that rituals were conducted in harmony with the heavens, reaffirming the connection between the terrestrial and the cosmic. The materials used in pyramid construction were sourced with care and precision. Limestone was abundant and easily quarried, but transporting and shaping the heavy stones required ingenuity. The Maya employed tools made of harder stones, like obsidian and flint, to cut and shape the limestone. Mortar, made from burnt lime and water, helped bind the stones together, creating structures that have stood for over 1,000 years. Beneath many pyramids, archaeologists have discovered earlier structures, indicating that pyramids were often rebuilt or expanded upon by successive generations. Each layer represents not just an architectural evolution, but a layering of history, power, and reverence. Buried deep within these constructions, royal tombs have been uncovered, filled with offerings of jade, pottery, and elaborate masks. These tombs were not merely graves, but portals to the afterlife, ensuring that the deceased rulers continued their journey among the gods. The design of these pyramids was deeply influenced by the Maya worldview, which saw the universe structured in 3 realms: the heavens above, the earthly plane, and the underworld, or Xibalba. The pyramids symbolized this cosmology. The temple at the top connected to the heavens, the body of the pyramid represented the earth, and the foundations and tombs below linked to the underworld. In ascending the steps, one metaphorically journeyed through the layers of existence. Standing before one of these monumental structures, you can almost hear the echoes of past ceremonies, the rhythmic beat of drums, the chant of priests, the murmurs of a gathered crowd. The air would have been thick with the scent of copal incense, its aromatic smoke spiraling skyward, a visible thread binding earth to sky. On festival days, the steps would be alive with color and movement, participants dressed in vibrant textiles adorned with jade and feathers, enacting rituals that had been performed for generations. Yet for all their grandeur, the pyramids were not static monuments. They were living centers of communal and spiritual life, spaces where the community gathered not just to witness rituals, but to participate in the maintenance of cosmic balance. Every alignment, every shadow, and every carved glyph served a purpose, reminding the Maya of their place within a grander scheme of existence. As you sit quietly at the base of a pyramid, the jungle reclaiming its space with creeping vines and the calls of distant birds, the stones around you seem to pulse with memory. The sun begins to set, casting long shadows that dance across the ancient steps. You feel the weight of time here, not as a burden but as a gentle presence, a reminder of the cycles that govern both the heavens and human life. In the fading light, the pyramid stands firm, a silent testament to the brilliance of a people who built with both stone and star charts, who saw their world not as separate from the cosmos, but as an integral part of its rhythm. The geometry of the Maya pyramids is a geometry of connection between time and space, human and divine, past and future. Let us journey onward, for beyond these sacred structures lies a deeper enigma, the Maya's mastery of the stars. The rainforest awakens with a gentle chorus as morning breaks, the first shafts of sunlight piercing the emerald canopy in golden threads. The air is fresh with dew, and as you ascend a winding path that leads to an ancient observatory, the song of birds and the soft rustle of leaves accompany you. The stones beneath your feet, though weathered by time, seem still to hum with the knowledge they have borne witness to, a knowledge of the stars, the sun, and the rhythm of the heavens. The Maya were astronomers of extraordinary skill, their understanding of the cosmos forged not in laboratories, but beneath the open sky, with tools no more complex than their keen eyes, shadow-casting markers, and an unparalleled memory passed down through generations. For the Maya, the night sky was not just a canvas of distant lights. It was a sacred manuscript, its celestial bodies, the ink with which the gods wrote the fate of the world. At the heart of this celestial understanding stood the planet Venus. To the Maya, Venus was not merely a bright object in the dawn or evening sky. It was a deity, a harbinger of change, associated with war, renewal, and cycles of life and death. The Maya meticulously tracked Venus's movements, recording its appearances and disappearances with remarkable precision. They calculated the planet's synodic cycle, the period between successive appearances in the same phase, to within a fraction of a day of modern calculations. This intimate observation was not reserved for Venus alone. The Sun, the Moon, the Milky Way, and a host of stars all held profound meaning. The Maya developed multiple calendar systems, each serving different purposes, but together forming a comprehensive temporal framework. The Tzolk'in, a 260-day sacred calendar, and the Hab, a 365-day solar calendar, interlocked like the teeth of gears, creating a repeating cycle known as the calendar round, lasting 52 solar years. Perhaps most impressive was the long count calendar, a linear count of days from a mythic starting point corresponding to 3114 BCE. This calendar enabled the Maya to record vast spans of time, anchoring historical and mythological events in a continuum that stretched far beyond the lifespan of any individual. For them, time was a vast ocean, and their calendars were the maps that charted its depths. Maya cities were often built with precise astronomical alignments. In places like Uaxtactun and Tikal, the positioning of temples and stelae allowed for observations of solstices, equinoxes, and other significant celestial events. Observatories such as the Caracol in Chichen Itza featured windows and sightlines designed to mark the rising and setting of Venus and the Sun at key times of the year. Standing atop one of these observatories, you can almost picture a Maya priest astronomer, clad in vibrant robes, adorned with feathers and jade, carefully observing the horizon as dawn approaches. The horizon itself was not just a line where Earth meets sky, but a sacred threshold where the movements of celestial bodies announced shifts in the cosmic balance. Every sunrise, every full moon, every eclipse was a conversation between the heavens and humanity. Eclipses, in particular, were events of profound significance and often dread. The Maya predicted both solar and lunar eclipses with stunning accuracy, understanding that these occurrences represented moments of cosmic disruption. In their worldview, such disruptions required ceremonies and offerings to restore harmony and ensure the continuation of the world as they knew it. The Milky Way was seen not just as a starry river stretching across the night sky, but as the cosmic tree, the Waka-chan, whose roots connected to the underworld. Its trunk represented the earthly plane, and its branches reached into the heavens. This sacred tree was the axis mundi, the world center, linking all realms of existence. Watching the Milky Way rise and move through the sky was a spiritual experience, a visual manifestation of their cosmological beliefs. Their mastery of mathematics further enhanced their astronomical pursuits. The Maya developed a vigesimal, base 20, numerical system, complete with the concept of zero, a remarkable mathematical achievement that enabled complex calculations. This understanding of numbers, combined with their keen observations, allowed them to predict celestial events with a sophistication that rivals even some early modern societies. Codices, the folding bark paper books of the Maya, contained tables of Venus cycles, lunar months, solar movements, and eclipse predictions. Though many of these were tragically lost to time and conquest, the few that survive, such as the Dresden Codex, reveal the depth of their astronomical records and calculations. These texts are intricate, filled with glyphs, numbers, and vibrant depictions of gods and celestial events, a testament to a civilization that revered knowledge as much as power. What is perhaps most profound is how the Maya integrated this astronomical knowledge into every facet of their lives, from the timing of agricultural practices to the scheduling of rituals and the coronation of kings. The heavens dictated the rhythms of planting and harvesting, of festivals and sacrifices, of war and peace. To live in the Maya world was to live in harmony with the cycles of the cosmos. As the sun climbs higher, the forest around the ancient observatory glows with dappled light, and the sky above stretches vast and blue, dotted with the fading brilliance of stars. You stand in the same place, where centuries ago, eyes keen and reverent, the Maya watched and listened to the universe speak. The stones beneath your feet are more than ruins. They are instruments of time, still aligned with the sky, still whispering to those who know how to look. As the day warms, the air grows thick with the scent of greenery and distant blossoms. The observatory stands quiet but potent, a relic of a time when humanity and the cosmos moved in rhythm, a dance of knowledge, reverence and awe. Let us now descend from the celestial heights and explore the earthly wonders crafted by Maya hands. The air is heavy with warmth as the afternoon sun begins its slow descent, casting long golden beams that pierce through the dense foliage. The jungle hushes, as if it too is preparing to reveal something sacred. Before you, past the entangled roots and towering ceiba trees, the forest opens into a vast clearing. Here, the remains of an ancient city sprawl out, its stone edifices standing proudly despite the centuries of encroaching vegetation. You have arrived in the heart of a Maya metropolis, where stone meets sky and history lingers in every crevice. The Maya civilization was not a single unified empire, but a constellation of city-states, each a vibrant center of culture, politics, and religion. These cities, though varied in size and influence, shared common architectural elements, social structures, and spiritual foundations. They were marvels of urban planning, designed not just for habitation, but to reflect the cosmic order and sustain the intricate web of Maya life. Tikal, Palenque, Copan, Calakmul, and Chichen Itza, each city was a world unto itself, with grand plazas, towering pyramids, palaces, ball courts, and sprawling residential areas. These were not mere clusters of dwellings, but carefully orchestrated spaces where the mundane and the divine coexisted. The layout of each city mirrored the Maya understanding of the universe, with the central plaza often representing the axis mundi, the center of the world where the earthly realm connected to the heavens and the underworld. Tikal, deep within the Guatemalan rainforest, was one of the most powerful of these cities. Its towering pyramids, particularly Temple 1 and Temple 4, dominate the landscape, their summits piercing the canopy to touch the sky. At its peak, Tikal was home to tens of thousands, its influence extending across vast territories through trade, alliances, and warfare. The city was a hub of culture and science, where priests, astronomers, artists, and rulers worked in concert to maintain cosmic harmony. Palenque, nestled in the Chiapas region of Mexico, is often praised for the elegance of its architecture and the richness of its inscriptions. The Temple of the Inscriptions, one of its most famous structures, houses the tomb of the great ruler Pakal the Great. The temple's walls are adorned with intricate glyphs that recount the history of the city and its dynasties. Palenque's artistry is delicate yet profound, its carvings capturing scenes of mythology, ritual, and the divine right of kings. To the south, in modern-day Honduras, lies Copan, a city renowned for its artistry and intellectual life. Copan is home to the hieroglyphic stairway, a monumental staircase inscribed with the longest known text in the Maya script. This narrative, carved into 63 steps, tells of dynasties, celestial events, and the intricate relationships between rulers and gods. The artistry of Copan's stelae, depicting elaborately adorned kings in majestic poses, remains among the most exquisite in all of Mesoamerica. Calakmul, hidden within the dense jungles of Campeche, Mexico, was one of Tikal's greatest rivals. This superpower city-state was a formidable force in the Maya world, engaged in a centuries-long rivalry known as the Snake Kingdom conflict. Calakmul's influence extended through military prowess and strategic alliances, its wealth and might evidenced by the sheer scale of its ruins, which include over 6,000 structures scattered across the landscape. Chichen Itza, perhaps the most famous Maya site today, flourished in the northern Yucatan Peninsula. Its architecture reveals a blend of Maya and Toltec influences, reflecting a period of cultural fusion. The Great Pyramid of Kukulkan, the Temple of the Warriors, and the Great Bull Court stand as enduring symbols of Chichen Itza's power and sophistication. The city was a melting pot of ideas, beliefs, and peoples, its markets filled with traders from across Mesoamerica. At the heart of these cities were the plazas, open spaces where life unfolded in all its vibrant complexity. Here, markets bustled with activity, priests led ceremonies, dancers performed to the beat of drums, and rulers addressed their people. The plazas were the living rooms of the city, spaces for communal gathering, celebration, and reflection. No Maya city was complete without the ball court, a space both recreational and deeply ritualistic. The Mesoamerican ball game, known as Pok-to-Pok or Pits, was not just a sport, but a symbolic reenactment of cosmic battles. Players sought to keep a heavy rubber ball in play without using their hands, navigating the stone court with agility and grace. Victories and defeats were often tied to the fates of cities, rulers, and the favor of the gods. Residential areas spread beyond the ceremonial centers, comprising homes of stone and thatch, workshops, and gardens. These neighborhoods reveal a society of remarkable artisans, farmers, and laborers. The common people, though less visible in the grand narratives, were the lifeblood of the cities, their daily toil sustaining the grandeur of the urban centers. Agriculture was the backbone of Maya cities, supported by ingenious techniques that adapted to diverse environments. Raised fields, terracing, and sophisticated water management systems allowed them to cultivate maize, beans, squash, and cacao. The relationship between urban centers and their surrounding landscapes was symbiotic, a balance of exploitation and stewardship that supported dense populations. Walking through these ancient cities today, one can still feel the pulse of life that once animated them. The stones, though worn and silent, seem to echo with the laughter of children, the chants of priests, the commands of kings, and the music of celebrations long past. The jungle may have reclaimed much, but the spirit of the Maya cities endures, etched in every stair, plaza, and carving. As the sun dips lower, casting a warm glow that turns the stones to gold, you linger in the plaza, imagining the throngs that once gathered here. The grandeur of the cities, their architectural brilliance, and their cultural richness paint a portrait of a civilization deeply attuned to both the earth beneath their feet and the stars above their heads. Let us now explore the rituals that breathe life into these grand cities. The evening air is soft and fragrant as the last light of day melts into the horizon. A hush settles over the forest, the canopy above shifting to deep greens and shadowy blues under the emerging starlight. The flickering glow of imagined torches illuminates the path ahead, guiding you deeper into the ceremonial heart of an ancient Maya city. Here, Beneath towering pyramids and stelae inscribed with sacred glyphs, the echoes of rituals performed long ago seem almost tangible, suspended in the air like the scent of burning incense. For the Maya, life was interwoven with the spiritual, each moment a thread in the grand tapestry of existence, linking the earthly, celestial, and underworld realms. Every sunrise, rainfall, and harvest was seen as the result of a delicate cosmic balance, one that required constant attention, reverence, and offerings to the gods. Rituals were not mere tradition, but essential acts that sustained the world, ensured the favor of deities, and preserved the harmony of the universe. The Maya pantheon was rich and complex, populated by deities who governed every facet of existence. There was Itzamna, the creator god, often associated with the sky and wisdom; Chayak, the rain god, whose benevolence was vital to agriculture; and Ixchil, the goddess of fertility, medicine, and weaving. These and many others formed a dynamic spiritual world where gods were both revered and feared, their moods and desires ever present in the lives of the people. At the core of Maya religious practice was the belief in reciprocity, the idea that humans must give to the gods to receive blessings in return. This was the essence of sacrifice, a sacred exchange that kept the cosmic order intact. Offerings varied greatly, from food, flowers, and incense to precious items like jade and obsidian. Yet among these, the most potent offering was blood, considered the ultimate source of life and energy. Bloodletting rituals were common among Maya royalty and nobility. Kings, queens, and high priests performed these ceremonies with solemn reverence, drawing blood from their own bodies, from tongues, ears, or other parts, using sharp obsidian blades or stingray spines. The blood was collected and offered to the gods, often burned so that its essence could ascend with the smoke to the heavens. Through this self-sacrifice, rulers reaffirmed their divine right to rule and their intimate connection to the gods. Public rituals were grand affairs, staged in the plazas before vast audiences. The air would be filled with the sound of drums, flutes, and conch shells, their haunting notes weaving a hypnotic rhythm that guided the ceremonies. Dancers adorned in feathers, jade, and vibrant textiles moved with deliberate grace, enacting stories of creation, conflict, and renewal. The scent of copal incense wafted through the air, its thick, sweet smoke creating an atmosphere that blurred the lines between the human and the divine. The Maya ball game, or Pokta Pok, was more than a sport. It was a ritualized drama reflecting the eternal struggle between life and death, order and chaos. Some games held religious significance, and in certain contexts, the outcome could dictate who would be offered as a sacrifice. While it remains debated whether victors or captives were the ones sacrificed, what is clear is that the game was a powerful expression of cosmic principles, played within ball courts, designed to amplify sound and evoke the grandeur of the gods. Human sacrifice, though less common than other forms of offering, held particular importance during specific ceremonies. Captives taken in battle, especially those of noble lineage, were often the chosen offerings, their deaths believed to nourish the gods and ensure the continuation of the world. These sacrifices were conducted with precision and gravity, the rituals meticulously prepared to align with celestial events or significant dates within the Maya calendar. Temples and pyramids served as the sacred stages for these rituals. The steps of towering structures, like those at Tikal, Copan, or Chichen Itza, were not only paths to the heavens, but also platforms for public religious displays. At the summit, priests conducted ceremonies that intertwined the fates of their cities with the will of the gods. The rituals performed atop these heights were visible to the masses below, uniting the community in shared spiritual experience. An essential component of Maya spirituality was the concept of the world tree, or Waka-chan, which connected the three realms of existence. the heavens, the earth, and the underworld, known as Xibalba. Rituals often symbolized a traversal of these realms, with blood offerings acting as the nourishing sap that flowed along the tree's axis, sustaining the cosmos. The imagery of the world tree is prevalent in Maya art, depicted with roots anchored in the underworld and branches stretching into the celestial sphere. Even death itself was not the end, but a continuation of the journey through the cosmic landscape. The dead traveled to Xibalba, a place both feared and revered, filled with trials and guardians. However, through proper rites, offerings, and the favor of the gods, the deceased could achieve balance and perhaps rebirth or a place among the ancestors watching over the living. In private homes, smaller rituals were conducted to honor household gods, ancestors, and the spirits of the land. Offerings of food, drink, and incense were made at altars, ensuring the well-being of the family and maintaining harmony with the unseen forces that surrounded daily life. These intimate acts of devotion wove the sacred into the fabric of ordinary existence. As night deepens over the ancient city, you imagine the flicker of torchlight, casting dancing shadows on temple walls, the low hum of chants echoing through the plaza, and the intoxicating blend of music, incense, and human voice rising into the dark sky. The pyramids stand as sentinels, their stone faces bearing witness to centuries of devotion, sacrifice, and the eternal quest for balance between worlds. You sit quietly, enveloped by the gentle night sounds of the rainforest, the distant call of an owl, the soft rustle of leaves, and the rhythmic pulse of the earth beneath you. The rituals may have ended, the priests long gone, but the energy of those sacred acts remains, infused in every stone, every stairway, every breath of the forest air. Now, with a deeper understanding of the Maya's sacred traditions, let us explore the power and legacy of their rulers. The first blush of dawn filters through the dense foliage, painting the stone faces of ancient stelae with a soft, amber glow. Birds begin their morning songs, their calls a gentle herald of the new day. As you walk among the towering monuments of a long-forgotten city, carved glyphs and regal figures emerge from the stone, their features proud and eternal. Here, amidst the crumbling majesty, the story of Maya kings, queens, and dynasties comes alive, whispering tales of power, prestige, and divine right. The rulers of the Maya world were not mere political leaders. They were sacred figures, mediators between the earthly and the divine, their authority rooted in myth, ancestry, and cosmic alignment. To rule was to embody the gods' favor, to ensure the continued balance of the universe, and to maintain the prosperity of the city-state or Ajorlel. Each Ajor, or king, stood as the living heart of their domain, their blood and breath inextricably linked to the health and success of their people. The Maya conception of kingship was steeped in lineage. Bloodlines traced back to divine ancestors or legendary figures, and stelae, tall stone monuments inscribed with hieroglyphs and images, chronicle the deeds, conquests, and rituals of these rulers. These records did more than preserve history. They legitimized power, weaving the narrative that each successive king was chosen by fate and the gods to lead. Among the most celebrated of Maya rulers was Tikal, the Great of Palenque. Ascending the throne at the tender age of 12, Tikal reigned for nearly 70 years, overseeing a flourishing of art, architecture, and cultural achievement. His tomb, discovered deep within the Temple of the Inscriptions, is a marvel of ancient engineering and symbolism. The elaborately carved sarcophagus lid depicts Tikal descending into the underworld, a visual testament to the belief in the cyclical journey of life, death, and rebirth. But kings were not the sole bearers of power. Queens held significant influence, particularly in times of dynastic transition or political upheaval. One of the most remarkable figures was Lady Six Sky of Naranjo, who re-established her city's power after a period of decline. Sent from the powerful city of Dos Pilas, she ruled as regent and later as queen, leading military campaigns and performing rituals that reinforced her authority. Her legacy is etched in stelae that portray her in full regalia, asserting her right to rule with the same divine mandate as any male counterpart. Dynastic politics were complex and often fraught with intrigue. Marriages served as strategic alliances, binding city-states together or cementing vassal relationships. The exchange of royal family members helped forge bonds between distant regions, creating networks of loyalty and obligation that spanned the Maya world. Such unions were celebrated with grand ceremonies, rich in symbolism and pageantry, reinforcing the sacred nature of royal bloodlines. Royal courts were centers of power, intellect and artistry. Advisors, scribes, artists, and priests surrounded the king, each contributing to the machinery of governance and the maintenance of cosmic order. Scribes recorded the events of the realm in glyphs and codices, ensuring that the deeds of the ruling elite would be remembered for eternity. Artists captured the grandeur of the court in stone, ceramics, and murals, immortalizing their patrons in scenes of ceremony, conquest, and divinity. The architecture of power was palpable in the royal palaces and ceremonial complexes. These structures were not only residences, but symbols of the ruler's might and sanctity. The Palace of Palenque, with its distinctive tower and expansive courtyards, speaks of a sophisticated society where governance, ritual, and daily life intermingled seamlessly. Every stone was laid with intention, every carving a declaration of authority. The role of the king extended beyond politics and into the spiritual realm. Through rituals of bloodletting, offerings, and astronomical observation, rulers maintained the favor of the gods and the balance of the cosmos. Ceremonies often involved the conjuring of ancestral spirits, believed to provide guidance and legitimation to the living monarch. The visions induced by these rituals were depicted in art, showing serpents and deities emerging from the blood offered by the king or queen. Warfare, too, was an extension of royal duty. Kings led armies into battle, seeking to expand their influence, capture enemies for sacrifice, and demonstrate their prowess. Victories were celebrated with monuments and ceremonies, while the captured nobility were paraded and often sacrificed to honor the gods and display the might of the conqueror. These acts of war and ritual reinforced the divine favor upon the victorious ruler, enhancing their standing both within their city and among their peers. Yet, power was never permanent. Dynasties rose and fell, often brought low by internal dissent, environmental challenges, or the shifting sands of alliance and enmity. The fall of a king could signal the decline of a city, the erosion of influence, and the eventual encroachment of the jungle. Still, the memory of these rulers endured, carved into stone and whispered through the ages. As the morning sun climbs higher, illuminating the carvings on ancient stelae, the figures of kings and queens seem almost to stir, their stone eyes gazing across time. Their stories of ambition, devotion, and divine connection remain etched in the very bones of the land. Here, amidst the ruins, you can almost hear the echoes of royal proclamations, the solemnity of court rituals, and the whispers of dynastic intrigue. You linger a while longer, feeling the weight of history in the cool touch of stone. The grandeur of Maya royalty, their sacred duties, and their enduring legacies remind us that power, though transient, leaves marks that endure far beyond a lifetime. Let us now turn to the artistry and written language that preserved these legacies. The midday sun filters gently through gaps in the jungle canopy, casting a dappled light over walls once adorned with vivid pigments and intricate carvings. As you wander deeper into an ancient Maya city, you find yourself surrounded not just by stone structures, but by the silent eloquence of an entire civilization's artistry. Though many of the colors have faded and the surfaces worn with time, the essence of Maya creativity lingers, waiting to be seen, understood, and felt. To the Maya, art was not mere decoration. It was a language, a means of communication as vital as the spoken word. Every brushstroke, carving, and symbol held meaning, linking the viewer to stories of gods, kings, cosmic events, and the rhythms of the natural world. Through their art and writing, the Maya preserved their history, beliefs, and achievements with a grace and complexity that continues to captivate scholars and dreamers alike. Their written language, known as Maya glyphs, is one of the most sophisticated and visually striking writing systems of the ancient world. It combines logograms, representing whole words or concepts, with syllabic signs that together form a script of over 800 distinct symbols. These glyphs were meticulously inscribed on stone monuments, painted on ceramics, and inked onto codices, the folding books made of bark paper. Reading Maya glyphs is like deciphering a richly illustrated puzzle, where each symbol carries layers of meaning. Names of rulers, dates of significant events, rituals, and even celestial phenomena are encoded within these glyphic texts. For centuries, the full breadth of the script remained elusive, but through the dedicated work of epigraphers and linguists, much of it has been unlocked, revealing a history as vibrant as the jungles that surround these ancient sites. Stelae, towering stone slabs often placed in plazas and ceremonial centers, were the primary canvases for these inscriptions. They stand as enduring chronicles of dynastic achievements, recording battles, alliances, rituals, and the lineage of kings and queens. Accompanying the glyphs are detailed reliefs portraying the subjects with elaborate headdresses, jewelry, and garments, each element symbolizing power, status, and divine favor. Equally captivating are the murals that once adorned the walls of temples, palaces, and civic buildings. In places like Bonampak, deep within the Lacandon jungle, the surviving murals offer a window into the past that is as immediate as it is mesmerizing. These painted scenes depict courtly life, rituals, music, dance, and even the visceral realities of warfare and sacrifice. The murals are vibrant tapestries of color and motion, capturing moments frozen in time, yet pulsating with life. Ceramics, too, played a crucial role in Maya expression. Painted vessels, often used in both daily life and ceremonial contexts, display an astonishing level of craftsmanship and narrative depth. Many pots are inscribed with glyphs that identify their owner, contents, or purpose, alongside scenes of mythology, ritual, and courtly intrigue. These ceramics were not merely utilitarian, they were storytelling mediums, preserving cultural memory and artistic brilliance. The artists themselves held esteemed positions within Maya society. They were not anonymous craftsmen, but individuals often named and celebrated within their work. They were revered for their ability to channel the divine, to capture the essence of a story or a ruler's majesty with skillful precision. To create art was to engage in a sacred act, a form of communication with the gods and the ancestors. In addition to murals and ceramics, jade carvings represented another pinnacle of Maya artistry. Jade was precious, symbolizing life, fertility, and power. Intricate jade masks, beads, and plaques adorned both the living and the dead, accompanying rulers into the afterlife as symbols of their status and connection to the divine. The craftsmanship required to work such a hard stone speaks to the incredible skill and patience of Maya artisans. The surviving codices, though few due to the destructive zeal of the Spanish conquest, are priceless treasures of Maya intellect and art. The Dresden Codex, the most famous among them, is a compendium of astronomical data, rituals, and prophecies, its pages rich with colorful illustrations and complex glyphs. These books reveal the Mayas' deep understanding of mathematics, astronomy, and timekeeping, all expressed through meticulous artistry. Sculpture was another realm where the Maya excelled. From monumental stone carvings of deities and kings to smaller delicate figurines crafted from clay or bone, their sculptures exhibit a fluidity and attention to detail that conveys both power and grace. The figures often embody dualities, life and death, human and divine, order and chaos, reflecting the Maya's nuanced worldview. Walking among these relics, you can almost hear the whisper of the artist's brushes against plaster, the careful chipping of stone, and the low murmur of scribes reciting histories as they commit them to glyphs. The cities, though now quiet, once vibrated with the pulse of creativity, each surface a testament to a civilization that saw no boundary between art, writing, and life itself. As the afternoon light deepens, casting soft shadows across the glyphs and murals, you sit and imagine the hands that shaped these wonders. Each line and curve speaks of a deep connection to the world around them, to the stars above, the gods beyond, and the earth beneath their feet. In their art and writing, the Maya left not only a record of their existence, but a mirror reflecting the depth of human imagination and spirit. Now that we have explored the brilliance of Maya art and writing, let us uncover the mysteries of their collapse and what remnants of their civilization endure. The sun begins its slow descent, casting a soft amber light over the sprawling ruins, the shadows growing longer as the forest slowly reclaims the stone. There is a haunting beauty in these remnants of once great cities: Tikal, Copan, Palenque, Calakmul, each a silent witness to a vibrant world that seemingly disappeared. As you wander through this quiet grandeur, a question arises like the gentle wind through the trees. What happened to the Maya? What caused these magnificent cities to fall silent, their plazas empty, their temples overgrown? The collapse of the classic Maya civilization, particularly between the 8th and 9th centuries CE, remains one of the great enigmas of history. For years, the abandonment of the great southern lowland cities was perceived as a sudden and mysterious vanishing. Yet the truth, like the rainforest itself, is layered, complex, and resistant to simple answers. Scholars have proposed multiple interwoven factors that may have contributed to the decline. Environmental degradation plays a significant role in this narrative. The Maya heartland was a densely populated region, and the intensive agriculture needed to sustain large urban centers put enormous pressure on the land. Deforestation, soil depletion, and water mismanagement may have led to declining agricultural yields, weakening the city's ability to support their populations. Compounding these challenges were periods of severe drought. Paleoclimatic evidence suggests that the Maya region experienced prolonged droughts during this period, reducing water supplies essential for both drinking and farming. The complex reservoirs and canals built by the Maya, though ingenious, may have been insufficient to counter the effects of sustained dry periods. With failing crops and dwindling water, famine and social stress would have followed. Political instability further exacerbated the situation. The Maya world was not unified, but composed of competing city-states often locked in cycles of warfare and shifting alliances. As resources became scarce, conflicts intensified, weakening the social fabric and leading to the collapse of political authority in many cities. Evidence of fortified structures and mass burials suggests that violence and upheaval were part of this turbulent era. The combination of environmental strain, climatic shifts, and internecine warfare likely created a cascade of failures that cities could not withstand. Rulers, once seen as divinely sanctioned mediators with the gods, may have been discredited in the eyes of their people when they could no longer guarantee prosperity and stability. The social contract that bound the rulers and the ruled unraveled, leading to depopulation, abandonment, and the encroachment of the jungle. Yet even as some cities crumbled, others adapted and persisted. The northern cities, such as Chichen Itza and later Mayan, rose in prominence during the Terminal Classic and post-Classic periods. These centers adapted to new political structures, trade networks, and cultural influences, including contact with the Toltec civilization of central Mexico. The architectural and artistic styles of these later cities reflect a blending of traditions, a testament to the resilience and adaptability of Maya culture. Most importantly, the collapse of the great cities was not the end of the Maya people. Far from disappearing, the Maya continued to live, farm, trade, and worship in smaller communities scattered across the region. Their descendants are still here today in Guatemala, Belize, Honduras, El Salvador, and Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula, keeping alive their languages, traditions, and ancestral knowledge. The Spanish conquest in the 16th century brought new trials, disease, colonization, and cultural suppression, but it could not extinguish the Maya spirit. Despite the destruction of many codices and temples, Maya culture survived in hidden practices, oral histories, and the enduring connection to the land. Modern Maya communities continue to honor the cycles of time, the sacredness of maize, and the wisdom encoded in their heritage. Archaeological efforts have revealed much about this continuity. Excavations uncover not only grand temples, but humble homes, revealing the daily lives of common people who adapted to changing circumstances. Contemporary Maya scholars and activists are reclaiming their history, ensuring that the story of their ancestors is told not as one of disappearance, but of endurance. As you sit among the ruins, the forest around you alive with the sounds of birds and rustling leaves, it becomes clear that the Maya story is not one of abrupt endings, but of transformation. The stones may have fallen, the plazas may be silent, but the pulse of the Maya world continues in every child who speaks a Maya language, in every ritual honoring the earth and sky, and in every effort to preserve this rich cultural legacy. The fading light bathes the ruins in a golden haze, and the breeze carries with it the distant laughter of unseen children, the murmur of voices that echo from centuries past into the present. The collapse was not a vanishing act, but a turning of the page, a chapter ending so that another might begin. With a deeper understanding of both the fall and the resilience of the Maya, let us now step back to consider their legacy today and the mysteries that still linger among the ruins. The night sky unfurls above, a vast tapestry of stars shimmering like scattered jewels against the velvet dark. The jungle quiets, save for the gentle rustle of leaves and the distant call of nocturnal creatures. As you stand at the base of an ancient pyramid, its stone steps stretching upward into shadow, you are reminded that though the builders are long gone, their legacy still speaks in the language of stone, sky, and mystery. The Maya pyramids remain among the most enduring symbols of this remarkable civilization. They are monuments not just of architecture, but of astronomical precision, spiritual devotion, and cultural resilience. Each pyramid is a riddle in stone, a testament to knowledge that has only begun to be fully understood. Today, archaeologists, linguists, and historians continue to unravel the secrets of the Maya. Advances in technology, such as LiDAR scanning, have revolutionized our understanding of the scope and complexity of Maya civilization. LiDAR, or light detection and ranging, uses laser pulses to penetrate dense forest canopies, revealing hidden structures, roads, terraces, and entire cities that had remained concealed for centuries. These discoveries have expanded the known size of Maya settlements exponentially, suggesting a civilization far more interconnected and populous than previously imagined. The glyphs carved into stelae, ceramics, and walls continue to yield insights into Maya history, politics, and cosmology. Epigraphers painstakingly translate these symbols, piecing together royal lineages, historical events, and mythological narratives. Yet vast portions of the script remain elusive, like fragments of a story waiting to be reassembled. Each new decipherment adds a brushstroke to the grand canvas of the Maya world. The pyramids themselves continue to fascinate. The Pyramid of Kukulkan at Chichen Itza, with its precise alignment to the equinoxes, remains a marvel of engineering and astronomical knowledge. The visual phenomenon of the serpent descending the pyramid at sunset during these times speaks to the Mayas' sophisticated understanding of light, shadow, and seasonal cycles. Such alignments are found throughout the Maya world, indicating a shared and profound connection between architecture and the cosmos. The tombs hidden within these pyramids hold treasures, not just of material wealth, but of cultural and spiritual significance. Jade masks, intricately carved figurines, painted ceramics, and offerings of food and precious goods speak to beliefs about the afterlife and the journey of the soul. The discovery of royal burials, like that of Tikal the Great in Palenque, offers glimpses into the ceremonial life of the elite and the reverence for ancestors that permeated Maya culture. Yet, for all that we have uncovered, much remains shrouded in mystery. Why did the Maya choose to abandon some cities while others persisted? What more can be understood about their mathematical systems, their medical practices, or their daily lives? And what lost codices, had they survived the fires of conquest, might have told us of their philosophies, sciences, and stories? Beyond academic inquiry, the legacy of the Maya endures in the vibrant cultures of their descendants. In the highlands of Guatemala, the Yucatan Peninsula, and beyond, Maya communities continue to speak their ancestral languages, practice traditional crafts, and honor rituals that echo the rhythms of the past. The sacredness of maize, the importance of the calendar, and the reverence for the earth and sky persist as living traditions. Modern Maya activism and scholarship have also reclaimed the narrative of their history, ensuring that their voices guide the interpretation of their heritage. Archaeological sites, once viewed solely through the lens of outsiders, are now increasingly interpreted with respect for the perspectives of those whose ancestors built them. Tourists who climb the ancient pyramids, walk the plazas, and gaze upon the murals are not merely observers. They are participants in a continuing dialogue between past and present. Every stone touched, every glyph deciphered, is a bridge connecting centuries, a reminder that history is not static but alive, evolving with each new discovery. As you stand before the ancient pyramid, the air cool and scented with the earthy fragrance of night, you are struck by the profound endurance of human curiosity. The Maya, with their towering temples, sophisticated calendars, and deep connection to the cosmos, remind us of the heights that human intellect and spirit can achieve. Their pyramids stand not just as relics of a lost world, but as beacons guiding us to look deeper, to question more, and to appreciate the beauty of civilizations past. The night deepens, the stars glimmering like silent witnesses to eons of human endeavor. The pyramid before you, a silhouette against the starlit sky, holds its secret still, but also its invitation, an invitation to listen, to learn, and to dream. And now, as we reach the end of our journey through the mysteries of the Maya pyramids, I invite you to reflect on the enduring legacy of this great civilization. Their echoes linger in every stone, every glyph, and every whisper of the wind through the trees. If you're still awake, let your thoughts fade like mist across the plain, and let rest find you softly and slowly. Or, if your curiosity still stirs, why not explore another of our journeys into the ancient world, where more mysteries await, patient and timeless. Wherever you are, thank you for listening, and until next time, sleep well.